Hello, this video will explain how to work with the OSHA documents within HearForm. Before we begin, we may want to click the number 3 in this right above where it says clean adjust there. You can see there's a dot. I'm going to click the number 3 and slide over, and this is where I can enter a company name for the patient. I can also use a drop-down list of choices and enter it that way. Now notice it shows up under Jennifer's name there at the upper middle area. So I could enter the company name there, but I could also enter it on the form itself, as you'll see. So I then want to choose from the drop-down list of choices, either the OSHA letter or the template. I'll choose the letter now. And now I could preview that or print it or email it, etc. But I want to go to it so that I could fill it in a little bit better. So I'm going to click the gray and white arrow. You can barely see me clicking this right underneath where it said OSHA letter. And I have some sample data in this form here, but if there was not anything in this particular field, then I could just start typing in randomly whatever I want there, or I can use a drop-down list of choices, which is fully editable. So if you want to edit that list, you want to make sure that there's not returns in between your sentences. So for example, this large one here, you may want returns, but if I select that, let's go ahead and do that. Hard to see here, but then I could put in my returns after the fact. So there's an extra space in there I didn't want, but you see I can put that in just like that later. But if you're going to use a drop-down list, you are limited to making sure that there are no returns in between, because a return makes the program assume that it's a different value, essentially. So just hit edit and put in all your choices if desired right there, or simply type into the field. Now whatever I put in here is going to automatically merge. Notice under right ear on the left middle of my screen now, date of test, right ear, the most recent hearing test shows, and then there's nothing until I put something in here and then click off to the side. It adds it for me. The same is true with the left ear information. So it's just going to put all that information there. Now if I preview this document, it's going to be 2 pages long. So let's just see it automatically merges the company name, the gender, the patient name and date of birth, and all the information that we just looked at there. Now that's page 1. Let me make this a bit smaller. Page 2 is going to have the additional information that won't fit on page 1. So we'll go back to browse mode, and that's how you enter a letter. But let's go back home. I don't know if I showed you this, but this is where, again, you can enter the company name as well right there. Let's go back home, and that was the letter. Let's go now to the one right below it, which is the template, and go to that document. Now, as I zoom in a little bit, you'll see an audiogram, a basic number of values here. Those are not editable on this screen. Those come from the audiogram module. So if you're going to put an audiogram in ahead of time, it will flow onto this document. Please keep that in mind. This area here is editable with the checklist, the check boxes rather, where you can say headphones or inserts. Of course, you wouldn't put both typically. And you may want to be able to edit the calibration date. And in order to do that, you have to go up to View, not very often, but when needed, View Layout, get your text tool as it's called, and then you can change that date right here if desired. Okay, I'll just change that to something different there. And again, I could change this one. And so now I have those new dates there. I'm going to then view browse mode, and it would typically ask me if it wants me to save my changes. I would say yes. So again, it's merging information from the red and blue fields off to the side. On the template, it uses a different value list, so you can put different options, the same or in the right and the left ear, by clicking this drop-down list of choices here. So these are not the same as what's on the letter. You could copy those and paste them into the same area here, but typically you may want different options here. This is a 1-page document, so we're going to preview that. And as you can see, it fits all on 1 page, and it's going to merge all that information automatically. One exception to this area, as I zoom in and scroll down a little bit, is you can, if you're opening this on an iPad or an iPhone with the Claris FileMaker Go app, the patient can tap into that field and sign it with their fingertip or an Apple Pencil and then they can date it as well, and that signature will be stored right onto the document itself. Below that, you have editable drop-down list for the job description and the dBA noise level if you want. Let's zoom back out. And once again, once I've entered that data, I could print right from here, or you may have noticed I can also print one copy for just Jennifer, turn it into a PDF, or my found set, the larger group. Typically, you're not going to do that. You'll do those one at a time, but you could print those more if you want. So that's how you use the OSHA letter and the template within HearForm software.